In the last couple of weeks, before I'm recording this video, Google have been on a roll and delivering some fantastic upgrades to their AI platforms. The rollout of Gemini 3 Pro, at the time, one of the leading models, now superseded by Opus 4.5, but also Nano Banana Pro, fantastic for image generation, along with a number of other tools that have been useful for developers. And so a question that's been coming up recently is, if we are a Google Workspace customer, should we be doubling down on Gemini as our platform, or is there still a reason for having ChatGPT from OpenAI? And the same thing for Microsoft, as Microsoft is doubling down on their Copilot platform. Yes, they've got a deep partnership and investment in OpenAI, but you can now roll out Anthropic's Claude within Copilot as well. It starts to beg the question from companies who typically have either deeply embedded into the Google Workspace ecosystem or into the Microsoft Office 365 ecosystem. Is there a need to be spending money on a third independent platform? Whether that is ChatGPT, whether it is Claude, or anything else. And I just want to share my experience of how I'm using across these three platforms, and where I'm finding that I can't get work done in the same way outside of ChatGPT. And so I'm going to use a couple of examples. So firstly, let me show you them in ChatGPT, and then I'll see how we can build them in the other platforms. So the first is a GPT. For those of you that are not familiar with a GPT, it is a wrapper around a process, a policy, a document, a workflow. It's a way of you taking something that you already do today, and how do I wrap that up and give it to other people in my company or even beyond my company. And so the example that I'm going to show you here is of a GPT that we've created for our use in Koala. And it is called a Smart Brevity GPT. It's based off a fantastic book called Smart Brevity, which I encourage you to buy and to read. And it helps you to either write business communications more clearly, or to improve something that you've written before. I'm going to show you how that works in 1 second. Before I do that, I'm just going to show you another part of the ChatGPT platform that is super powerful, and that is projects, and more importantly, shared projects. So every Wednesday here at Koala, we run a 1-hour webinar. We talk about a key feature of ChatGPT. We talk about the last 7 days of AI news, and then we have 30 minutes for people to ask questions, get help around anything that they're working on in ChatGPT. So this is a shared project within the Koala team called Wednesday Webinars. It has got a load of instructions about how we run these Wednesday webinars and what this project should do and the role of it. We've loaded it up with some information about our webinars, the process, and our messaging and our positioning and so on. And then I've shared this project with a couple of members of my team. So Nick here, he's able to come in and he can see the instructions and he can add in the files because he's got edit rights. And Caitlin in this scenario can come in and she can be a consumer of this project. She can chat, but she can't update the instructions or the files. Now, what does it mean to have a shared project? Well, it means that we are all able to come in and chat using the same instructions and the same source files, and we can actually see each other's chats. So here's me having a conversation. Here is Nick coming in and having a conversation. And here is Caitlin coming in and having a conversation. So let's see. Caitlin has come in here and she's asked, how do I build a HubSpot landing page? And I, by being in this shared project, can see Caitlin's conversation. Down here, it says, this is a conversation between ChatGPT and Caitlin Porter. As I get to the bottom of it, if I respond, I will create a branch to that conversation. So let's have a look at where that was. So here was Caitlin's conversation, build a HubSpot landing page. And here is me continuing that conversation in a branch. So if I scroll up here a little bit, where was I? Yeah, branched from Caitlin's conversation. And then I'm saying, great, does it make sense for us to use HubSpot for the landing page or any other platform? So this is real multiplayer mode. 3 of us in the team in one space, able to talk and collaborate with ChatGPT and continue each other's conversations. Multiplayer mode. So that was a shared project. Now let me go back to our GPT here. Now, what I have written, to give you a demonstration of this, I have written a poorly written customer email. Now, this is the kind of thing that you might get from a company that is trying to put your pricing up. I hope this message finds you exceptionally well. Hope you're having a great week. We've been reflecting on all the progress that we've made. As you know, maintaining our platform involves a lot of moving parts. After a thorough review, a broader landscape, we'll be making some updates to our pricing tiers. Oh, right. Okay. So now we've got to the fact that you're going to change our pricing. Oh, and we're going to tell you a bit more about that in the coming months. So you've really buried the main message here, which is we're going to change our pricing. So that's a bad email, but it's going to give me the example here that I'm going to upload this poorly written email. And I'm going to say, hey, ChatGPT, can you review my email and tell me if I need to improve it? And so this custom GPT, which is all trained on my instructions about the Smart Brevity book, is now following the workflow, the questions that I've asked it to ask. Happy to review it. Before we dive in, one quick question. What's your goal for this email? What do you want the customer to think, feel, or do after reading it? We want our customer to know clearly that we have to put our prices up. The prices are going to go up in 30 days on the 1st of January. And we want them to know that they can ask their account manager if they've got any questions. Great. We're getting some coaching notes, Smart Brevity opportunities. If you'd like, I can rewrite it. Yes, please. Here's a Smart Brevity rewrite. Subject, upcoming price update. Hi there, we're updating our pricing on January the 1st. This change will take effect from 30 days from today. Why are we doing it? What this means for you? Do you need help? Thanks for being part of Koala. This is a good Smart Brevity rewrite. We get straight to the main point in the first sentence, and we're directing people. Why are we doing this? What does it mean for you? Do you need help? So that's the Smart Brevity GPT in action. Now, let me just take a little look in the background, because as we jump over to Gemini and over to Copilot, this is what I want you to keep an eye on. So firstly here, we've got our instructions. We've got some conversation starters. We've got different knowledge files that we can upload as PDFs or Markdown. We can choose what model we want, and we can give different tools. We can also, if we wanted to, create integrations into other systems so that this GPT can pull information in or push information out. Now, these 3 dots here, I want you to see version history. So as we've got multiple people collaborating on building out this GPT, it's important for us to be able to see what has changed and when. And in fact, I've not changed this at all. But if I had changed it, we'd be able to see what has changed, and we'd be able to restore the version if I changed the conversation starters, added in new files, and so on. So from an enterprise perspective, that's quite helpful. So that's ChatGPT. We've looked at a shared project for collaboration amongst your team, and then we've looked at a GPT to be able to package up a process or a workflow and give it to other people in our organization. Now let's jump over to Gemini. Like I say, Gemini's had some fantastic upgrades, and the model is right at the bleeding edge of what is possible today. So they don't have a GPT or a project. They use a thing called a gem, and a gem, I would say, is closer to a GPT than it is to a shared project. In that, when people are using these gems, it's pretty much single player mode. So, what is a gem? Let me go into the edit so you can see here. I've given it the same thing. It's a smart brevity gem. So we've given it a name, we've given it the instructions, I've given it exactly the same instructions as we've got in the other one, although it's pretty difficult for me to edit and see this. There we go. I can add in knowledge files. Now, a bonus here is the Google integration, in that I can upload actual Google Docs, but what I cannot do, I don't believe, I can upload a file there as well, so that's okay. So I can upload a file, and so Gemini wins on that. I can have a Google Doc that is loaded in there. I can't give it an icon, which I quite like for sort of identifying or branding them. They just get a letter. And so that is my GPT. And I can share it either to my team or outside of the organization using normal Google sharing widget. I'm not going to click that button because it's going to show some members of my team that would be the default that I'd be sharing it to. But just as you would share a Google Doc, you can share it outside of your organization. So that's the Smart Brevity gem. Let's use it. Upload the same file. Here we go. Poorly written email. Hey, Gemini, can you review this email I want to send out? So same thing, same email, and I'm asking it to review it. The custom gem is running its analysis. Reviewing the draft. Here I'm using the thinking model, I should add, which is the new 3 Pro, which is the one for coming up with more complex analysis. I could run the fast one and it would be faster. I can certainly help you to refine this. It looks like you have important news to share, but it's currently hidden behind a lot of text. Just to start with, what's the single main outcome you want for this message? Here's my smart brevity analysis. Okay, so this is great. It's following the same thing. A little niggle for me. I mean, this is coming up with a lot of these links. I mean, this is great because it's sourcing things from my Google Drive, but there's a lot of stuff going on here. Great. Can you just do a quick rewrite for me? In Gemini, we can obviously upload our files, add from Drive. We can create images, Canvas, very similar to ChatGPT here. Just let that build out. Here's a smart brevity rewrite. Subject. The point, we're updating our pricing tiers to support the continued growth and reliability. Why it matters, what next, the bottom line. So I think fairly comparable to what we've done in ChatGPT. The main difference for me would be that when I'm editing, there is no version history, version control. I'm not able to. I think I can share. Other people can edit this. Yeah, there or thereabouts, I would say, compared to GPTs. The thing that's missing is that there is no concept of a project in here. So when we were looking at the Wednesday webinars and the fact that my team can be in a single project and collaborating and seeing each other's chats, there's no concept of that. So where work gets done in a team, you don't have that. A gem doesn't come close to replicating that. Next up, let's switch over to Copilot. Now, as you probably know, Microsoft is a big investor in OpenAI. I think in their last funding round, Microsoft might own 28% of the parent company, the non-profit that owns the for-profit, something like that. So a big investor. And they have, in part of that new refinancing, they have direct access to all of OpenAI's knowledge and research and models up until a certain period of time. So you'd expect that Copilot is very similar to or a big replication of what is possible. And it is using OpenAI's models in the background. So here we go, add the content. Let's add it in again. Oh, no, I don't want to add in work content. What do I want to do? I want to upload a file. I'm going to upload this file again, poorly written email. Hey, Copilot, can you help me to review and write this email? We want to put our pricing up on the 1st of January and 30 days from now. Uploading from device will send a copy to your OneDrive. Okay. Got it. I've reviewed the email. Here's what I see. What works, what needs work, smart brevity fixes. Before I rewrite, quick question, what's the goal? The goal is that we need to let our customers know that the pricing is going up. We want to let them know that they can speak to their account manager if they've got questions. Yes, please create a rewrite. Hi, customer. Starting January 1st, our pricing will increase. This change helps us continue to investing. Great, clear, short, action focused. Okay, so as you can see across the three platforms, the implementation of the GPT is fairly similar. Now let's have a look at this. They're called agents here. So in ChatGPT, we've got GPTs. In Gemini, we've got gems. In Copilot, we've got agents. So I can give it a logo, which we couldn't do in Gemini. Give it a name, description. I've given it the same instructions. Now the gap here is, now someone that knows more about Microsoft will probably correct me. I can only add in specific websites. The only way that I think I can add knowledge files to the GPT is to provide a link to a SharePoint directory. And as we've not set up SharePoint properly, because we're mainly a Google house, I'm not able to actually add in any knowledge files to this agent. What I could do is provide some websites that I could access to. Capabilities, it can create things, some suggested prompts. We did not have that in Gemini, just as a point of note. If I go back to smart brevity, there is no sort of suggested questions in there. I can do a little preview of it. Excellent. And then I can share it with people in our organization. So there, that's an agent. What we, again, do not have in Copilot, unless someone corrects me, is the concept of a project or a shared project where people are coming together to do work. I've got no doubt that they will roll that out because of their relationship and partnership with OpenAI. But are many non-IT literate or IT specialists going to create agents? Is that a bit more complicated? Are people going to get frustrated that they can't actually just upload a document as knowledge? They need to be able to have stuff linked in SharePoint first. I don't know. So there we go. That's our sort of quick run through of the concept of a GPT and a shared project and what that looks like in Gemini and what it looks like in Copilot. For me, I feel that OpenAI is getting what business users are trying to do better, and they're able to ship faster and innovate on these use cases. So we'll wait to see how Google and Microsoft continue to deliver on their roadmaps. But for me, I'm able to do things in ChatGPT, especially in the concept of a shared project where we can work together on something that you cannot do today in Gemini or Copilot.